Hello friends, my name is Behroz and welcome to the channel where I share with you tips and tricks that I read, learn and apply in my daily life in order to become a best version of myself. Now in this video, I will talk about the logistics of interview. When I say logistics, I mean things related to how you should dress up, when you should show up for the interview and so on and so forth. So get ready for the tips. Now tip number 1 is to make sure that you schedule yourself for interview in the last interview slot. So for instance, if there are 3 candidates in the pipeline and each is scheduled for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, then ask the interviewer to give you the last slot, which is the Wednesday slot. Make any excuse whether you're busy or not ready and hence ask for the last available slot that the interviewer has. Why it's important is because let's say there are 2 candidates, you and there is one other candidate and both are equally good. However, you give your interview in the last slot. So there will be a strong recency effect and hence you will have a much lasting impression on the interviewer if assuming both were equally good. So when during the debrief, the interviewer is supposed to narrate examples from his interview that he's taken with you, he will be able to share more examples from your interview than any other interview because of this recency effect, because he just had that interview with you very recently. And hence he can talk more passionately about you and share more stuff about you during that debrief, giving the idea that he was able to read you very well and that you left a very strong and lasting impression on this interviewer. Now tip number 2 is to make sure that you dress like the interviewer. People like and admire those people who look like them. So there will be a strong effect that you will create if you kind of look and appear like the interviewer, him or herself. Now this may be super easy if you are interviewing for an internal job, because in that case you know the interviewer, you know how he looks or how she looks and how they dress, and hence you can kind of replicate their dressing if you're going for the interview. Now this may not be very easy if you're interviewing for a company for which you don't work already. However, you can still search for how the executives dress and how the executives look online and see and try to kind of dress the same way as the executives in that company dress up. Now third tip is to make sure that you reach your interview place at least 10 to 15 minutes in advance, or if it's an online interview, at least 5 minutes in advance. It is best to keep those buffers because there can be any technical issues or you can have delays in your commute to the interview. In case you reach early, it is a good thing because you will be showing more hunger and drive for the job. It is always good to show that hunger and drive. And on the same lines, there is this 4th tip that never shy away from following up after the interview. It is always best to show that hunger and passion for that job. I would any day give the job to someone who's dying to have the job, who has all the passion and all the hunger to do the job versus someone who has an attitude. Now 5th and the last tip that I use for myself, especially for the times when I'm nervous, let's say when I'm giving an interview or I'm presenting, is that I carry an object in my hand to press or squeeze or touch on it. This is usually a pen. So I prefer keeping a pen in my hand versus just letting my hands be everywhere. Now this tip may not apply to everyone, but it works for me, especially when I'm nervous, as I'm able to calm down my nerves if I'm able to squeeze onto something, and hence holding a pen works for me. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this was helpful for you to ace your next interview. Thank you.